In Salzburg, Austria, a long time ago, a genius was born. His name we all know. Wolfgang Mozart, Amadeus to some, a brilliant musician he soon would become.
But before we begin, we're sure you must wonder, who are these mice? Must be some sort of blunder. We're the lofty descendants of each little mouse that lived in the woodwork of Mozart's old house.
They passed on the stories that now we must tell. So sit back, enjoy, and please listen well. Be quiet as mice, for now it is time to meet the dear Mozarts in music and rhyme.
It's my musician friends. They've just come along to join me tonight for an evening of song. Herr Schockner and friends, so glad you could come. Now let us prepare for some musical fun.
Papa! Oh, please, Papa dear. I've written some music I want you to hear.
Come now, Wolfgang, don't be absurd. That's the silliest thing that I've ever heard.
Let's humor the child. I do think we should. My gracious, this music is really quite good.
It's a marvelous work, a sight to behold.
And to think that my son's only 4 years old.
Your son is a genius, I hereby proclaim, and someday the world will remember his name.
It's very clear to see that he is quite a genius, everyone.
It's very clear to see that we have quite a genius for a son.
Who would have thought it of a little lad who's only 4 years old?
He's writing melodies that someday all the whole world will behold. He's only 4, but we are sure his name we'll all adore. Someday his fame we will proclaim, the world will know his name.
Now, Papa Mozart was an enterprising man, and so he came up with a marvelous plan. His talented family soon left their abode, and with music in hand, took their show on the road.
Merry musicians are we. Put us to the test and just name your request, and we'll play it for you happily.
3 merry musicians, all 3. Just name your request and then they'll do their best to play it for you happily.
From Vienna to Paris, soon they would roam, where they played in many an aristocrat's home. Since all the mice couldn't sneak in each house, some of these tales were passed on word of mouth.
But rather than pay the Mozart family, the royalty just gave them trinkets, you see. A tiny gold watch, a brocaded sash, left the poor Mozarts wanting for cash.
Though they all praised his genius, one thing seemed funny. The wealthy just wouldn't part with their money. In the Netherlands, the highest of honors they made them, but trinkets and baubles were all that they paid them.
But trinkets and baubles are not what you need when there's so many mouths to feed.
We've traveled cities to and fro. We play the palace everywhere we go. What do we ever have to show? Oh, nothing much, it's true.
Bravo is what they always hear, but then they never pay them anywhere. They're poor as church mice now, it's clear. What are they going to do?
They give us beads and trinkets too. Banners and baubles, whoop-de-doo.
Between recitals and operas and concerts galore, Bologna was sandwiched right into their tour. It was here in Bologna that Wolfgang they'd test to put many nagging questions to rest.
As head of the Philharmonic Society, I say we should give this boy a look-see.
His reputation has brought him great fame, but is he really as gifted as others proclaim?
In a room we shall lock him so we can be sure he can write 4-part music to our special score. Is
giant changed Wolfgang's life. Constanze Weber became Mozart's wife. Some mice rejoiced with such jubilation that they needed mouse-to-mouse resuscitation.
You've written symphonies, operas, concertos, duets. You'd think we'd be able to pay off our debts.
It's a classical fact known to all the poor folk. Seems musicians are destined to always be Baroque.
It's a classic situation, one that fills me with frustration. Where I go, one thing I know, musicians always will be Baroque. It's a classic situation, one that fills him with frustration. Wherever he goes, one thing he knows, musicians always will be Baroque. They always say, what will you play me? But then they never want to pay me.
Triumph and tragedy marked his short story, but his musical legacy lives on in glory. It's over 200 years since this master is gone, yet his beautiful music plays on and on.
In 200 years, music has changed, so one of his pieces we've rearranged. We're sure he'd forgive our new modern style. Perhaps it would have brought dear Mozart a smile.